Manuel Glass has developed into an outstanding defender. Had his critics when he first started. Gilbert gets the job on Judd. Not a bad matchup either.
Bowater's gone straight to Montagna, and looks like Staker, he's gone to Lukey Ball. I don't think that'll remain for the day.
Now Hunter and Revolt, that will be a duel. Hunter in fine marking form last week. Friday night football. The stakes are high. Opening bounce. Flick down by Kazetsky. Follows up. Could have been taken high. Stenglein feeds it back. Pritis having a fine season. Clark drifting back. Marks it centre half back. Away to Fisher. That's Sam Fisher. Goes out wide. Hayes kicks beyond the wing. Etihad, a late inclusion. Close to the boundary line. Wheels around. Will kick inside the forward 50. Can Revolt get to the contest? Bounces off his chest. Selwood, Seaby. And now Jones with some time. Staker, opposite back pocket. Spots Stenglein and uses it.
So Stenglein carefully down the line to Pritis.
Pretty much one-on-one all over the ground here.
Short to Cox. Cox and Seaby interestingly in the centre square together at the opening bounce.
Really interesting, and I think that threw the Saints initially. I reckon Cox is just going to play loose all night.
So one champion to another. Cox to Judd.
Who said he's going to stay just in the forward 50 all night?
Hanson, not quite. Fisher worked him underneath. All over Milne. Is he in trouble? No, it'll be a ball up. So a lot of experience with our umpires tonight.
Yes, McBurney, Allen and McInerney. Look at the games they've umpired, about 800. Cox in trouble. Hand passes down towards half forward. Graham just walks it across the line. Cousins pleads his case.
I don't think there would have been too many scribes expecting Dean Cox to be in the centre and not taking the centre bounce.
Throw in right on the 50. Seaby almost. Kazetsky. A couple of clearances now. Bounces through midfield. Hunter. Consummate defender. Wheels around. Penetrating kick deep inside the forward 50. Kazetsky has started brilliantly. Hit the ground running. Montagna can go. He can run at them now. Gehrig wants it in the middle. Kick goes in that direction. Some indecision down there. Glass, was he taken high? Milne took him down. Close to the boundary line. Out of bounds. It'll be tossed in.
Just thought that was a poor kick there. Have a look at the tackle. Milne. Yeah, that's okay. Just didn't kick it to either Revolt or Gehrig's advantage. Had to go to one or either. Gehrig has to tell Nick to get out of his space.
So Cox and Seaby again. Milne roved it beautifully. Left foot to the goal square. Staker, who starred the last time we saw him on a Friday night kicking goals at the other end in the first score. Good start for Hunter on Revolt early.
Yeah, and he's showing a lot of pace where Revolt really relies on. But what else Nick does, he'll just keep working all night. It's whether Hunter's got the engine to go with him.
And Hunter does like to go down to the other end of the ground as a swingman, doesn't he? So
yeah.
Revolt will be aware of that. Gee, that was short. And just 15, so Pritis has made such an impression.
Just keep your eye on Luke Ball tonight too, because he copped a heavy cork last week, and we'll just see how that's come up.
Clever by Braun. He was just able to work at completely underneath a Graham, and a throw against Braun.
Super tackle. Pin the arm.
Graham 60 metres out. Was that 15? Half volley doesn't matter. Hayes 75 metres out, sets it up deep, and the mark is held behind by Voss. Well, a couple of times now, Revolt's been in short. The kick is carried. That time Voss getting on the end of it.
Well, this is what the Saints have to do. They just can't be Gehrig and Revolt focused. If a player leads up, honour it. It'll keep the other defenders honest and won't allow them to zone off.
His brother making the headlines this week. 5-5 from set shots. Brett Voss will kick from 35 metres out. Nice off the boot. That's a bigger roar from the Saints fans.
He's a good player, Brett Voss. If he gets his opportunities, he takes them. He's been in and out of the side this year, but that's where the goal started, right there. Graham's beautiful tackle. Got the ball on him. Missed the target, but then Lenny Hayes had the smarts to actually go to the second option, and that's having good vision, being able to look up and see over what's actually coming to you. Very few players can do that. Big move here. Blake's picking up Cousins. So a couple of, I guess, query matchups that you wouldn't expect to happen.
Handy goal kicker, Voss, isn't he? Got 3 against Port earlier this year, a couple last week in his comeback game. And he gets the first tonight. They've had 10 kicks, the Saints, and 1 handball. That's a very high ratio. Rose's kick inside. Fisher read it best. Judd almost, and then Fisher puts it down. Lacroix, good tackle by Gilbert. Hands have got to be good here. Dal Santo had the confidence to go on, and then the Saints did very well. Fisher just bangs it away. Milne and Selwood, good contest. Voss got an important touch in there. Back with Rosa. Stengline. Gee, Voss, terrific again. Brett Jones over the top. Dal Santo, it's fierce early. Prentice only as far as Xavier Clark, who had a very good match last week and delivers beautifully to Revolt. Garrick says, kick it long. And it was touched off the boot, so a ball to be won here. Braun with courage, but well done by Etihad, and then on the wrong side, blazing and missing everything.
Where St Kilda was so special last week was in close. They were so tight with their handballing. They hit the targets. Their contested footy's gone up level after level in the last month, and it looks like they've done it again tonight.
Jones got it from Hearn to the outer side. Uncharacteristic drop by Hunter. Cox, Jones, Hunter. Back to Rowan Jones. A late inclusion, that was good. Braun towards half forward, it pitches just outside the 50. Lynch does brilliantly. Manages boot to ball, it bounces down to the pocket. Ralph Clark didn't have the football, he'll get the free. Will advantage be paid? Yes, it will. Fisher over the top, Del Santo. Running hard is Blake. The kick goes in that direction. How will it bounce? Obligingly enough. Well done by Blake. Into the path of Gilbert. Gets through. Cousins almost got him. Gilbert tracks his own ball. Oh, a lot of willing work done down there initially by Waters. Then Gilbert back into the fray. Kicks to half forward. Look out! Voss put his head down. Strong tackle, Braun. Jarred out of there. Voss goes after it. Hearn dives in. Spills across to Montagna. Second mouse got the cheese. To the pocket. Revolt turns around. Opens the angle. And then goes looking for Fraser. Got hands to it. That was a bad choice. Taken across the line by Glass.
Was a poor decision. Just had to be selfish and go for it, which is really not being selfish. But geez, what about Gilbert's effort out on the wing? Fantastic.
Well, Ox, Gilbert and Voss, I reckon, early have been very, very good. Milne getting deep. Stengline is a hot footy at the moment.
Oh, is it ever?
Selwood, Revolt missed a chance. Rowan Jones gone. Gang tackled. Very early, Ox, but the signs for the Saints are terrific, aren't they?
Well, 19 tackles already, 11 to St Kilda, 8 to West Coast. Ferocious out there.
So Graham, and that's another poor kick to Revolt. So Montagna earlier. Now, Nick really should have kicked the goal, shouldn't he?
Well, have a look at this. He's just got to be selfish and just go for it. Nick Revolt's going to start causing Hunter a lot of headaches. He's going to need help, Hunter, and it's got to come in the midfield, limit the supply coming in so well.
Well, he went for the harder kick in the end, didn't he?
He certainly did. Selwood, half back, just loops it over the top. Rosa, some length on that one. Hunter, Selwood runs on. Coughs it up. Graham on the wing, pumps it back in. Awkward half volley there for Cox. Revolt spots a man clear. Xavier Clark runs around. X marks the spot. Bounces 5 metres out, just where he wanted it. And over the head of a defender and Fraser.
I just want to keep an eye here on Xavier Clark. Looks a little bit proppy. And in fact, he's coming off the ground. Dean Cox, bit of an error there. It's a long way down for a 6'7" bloke. At his feet, Nick Revolt, though, really smart play again. Got the ball on. We're going to have a look at his injury right now. One right on the shin. May have even been on the side of the knee.
So Clark maybe getting one on the knee or high shin there. Clever goal. Got a bit of luck with the bounce. Gehrig's big body keeping Glass out of the contest. St Kilda with a flying running start here. 4 scoring shots to 0. West Coast without a shot on goal. Cox doing the ruck work. Stenglein, Cousins, first time we've called him. Fisher terrific on Hansen. He'll be close to All-Australian, you think, Sam Fisher.
He's had a big year, hasn't he?
Hayes, prominent early. Loads up and kicks to Cozzy.
Justin, pushing the mark interference, that's it.
Well, he's starting to cause some headaches too for the West Coast Eagles.
Short to Dal Santo. He was one of the heroes when St Kilda won that match in Perth, and Gehrig, wide and low, takes the mark.
If the ball comes inside 50 this often, there is nothing that the West Coast Eagles defenders can do, because they get in that goal square and they block and they zone off for each other and they create space.
36-26 from set shots, Gehrig. 8 last week against another Western Australian team on this ground. Good shot at the angle, and it won't be a goal. Never really gave it a chance. Too skinny all the way.
And Justin Kazitsky just coming off for a rest. He's done pretty well. Clark coming on.
Hearn gave it a ride. Cox. Fane's going back to Hearn. This is Jones pushing up the middle. Runs to centre half back. Breaking down across half forward at the moment. Wirapunda getting wide. Well done. In behind Clark on the lead. Lynch has taken the mark. 40 metres out. Almost directly in front.
The ball to Wirapunda was the important one there. Just cleared the player, and which was Raf Clark, and a beautiful pass.
He struggled against the Saints. Just 4 goals in 5 matches. This will test him. I was talking to Chris Judd the other day. He said that he thinks that next season he intends taking the glove off for all kicks.
Good.
Kicks from 52. That's beautiful. Glove or no glove.
Well, that'll settle the nerves of the West Coast Eagles. They came through the centre of the ground, and I think that might be a place to go. If all the players are pushing out to the wings, go up the corridor. It's the most dangerous place to come into the forward 50. But the kick over to Wirapunda was the important one. Unable to get a hand on a Raf Clark, and that's what Wirapunda can do. Got to get goal side of Wirapunda.
He got 7 last week, and Gehrig got 8. He's drawn level. Let's go down to Ricky with Xavier Clark.
Yeah, we saw Xavier come off a few minutes ago and he limped off. He's actually got a corked thigh, so you can see there he's got some bandage and a padding put around his right thigh, and he's now on the box, just trying to loosen that thigh up and get him back out there.
Thanks, Rick. So an important goal there to the Eagles against the flow. Wirapunda, good kick.
Push with 2 hands. I told you keep your hands down. Just 2 hands. Right out, guys. Right on.
So Cox, you heard the umpire's explanation. Braun, and goes high. Looking for Staker. Montagna against the flow. Wirapunda's got him.
Held the ball in. He's held the ball in. Thanks, David. Thanks, Lee.
So the interchange there for West Coast British and Seaby surrounding Hansen. And there's young McNamara desperate to get a run. Debut tonight. What a stage to have that. Selwood back to Fletcher, wrong side, kicks to the hot spot, Dal Santo front spot, Rowan Jones couldn't, and then belted away by Graham, and here's a race. It's Hearn and Montagna.
Hearn arrives first, slips a tackle, hand pass to his own advantage. Moments ago, Shane McInerney was knocked down. That'll be interesting. Pushing the back against Lacroix. He can't believe it.
Yeah, it was a good duel over on the wing, though. It was just body strength of Hearn able to stand up.
That is a wide body. That is a tough body. Off the ball, Lacroix fell over initially with his marker Del Santo. Ferguson pushing up the ground. Works a little 1-2 with Maguire. Not a good kick. And here he is, first gamer. Just on the ground, first kick. McNamara pops it in short. Stenglein gets it back. Nicely worked with Hunter. This is Jones on the overlap. Found himself in trouble. Lynch blindsided by Burst. Shook him off like a big gorilla. Getting through there was Graham to Fisher. Fisher towards half-forward. Revolt can cut the angle. He's away. Gets the hand pass across the ball. Luke Ball measures the kick and slots it.
That was the gang tackle at centre wing.
It took all of 5 people to get Big Lynch. Burst couldn't hold on to him. Then Voss, then Maguire. But it was this one here, the quick hands out. This kick to Revolt, very, very important. And he played on. Hunter's already struggling to keep up with him because Revolt's taking him up to the wing, pushing back behind him. He needs help. He needs someone, almost a double team on Revolt just to stop his influence.
It's only the 3rd time this season Bulls kicked a goal in a match. He got 3 against Hawthorn and 1 in one other. Clark back on the ground, strapped up, just like Ball is. So the Saints now getting reward for their dominance on the board. 21-6. Revolt important. Burst did well. Lee Fisher. Milne in the centre square. Uses Graham's run. Races away from Rowan Jones. Long Revolt. Millie. Gehrig. No. Misses.
Wrestling with each other. He's shepherding you back. You're all over.
Is there a better side in football than Revolt against the Tide at full stretch?
Gee, that was good football.
There are better sides than Fraser sometimes. He knew it was down there. He knew what he wanted to do. Clark back on the ground then, just forward of the wing. There's Revolt. Enthralling duel at one. Not a good kick. Kozetski looked away as the ball arrived. It spills off his body and out of bounds. Casual, careless.
St Kilda players need to realise that Xavier Clark is not going to be able to kick as far as he normally does. He's got the corky on the leg, so they're going to have to shorten their leads and come up the ground towards him.
Glass was guillotined there. Throw it in. Seaby knocks it down. Sliding in was Clark. Hayes. Hand pass stifled. Well done by Fisher after Clark's earlier good work. This is Xavier Clark. Got it from Hayes. Runs down towards the 50. Steps inside the 50. Clever kick. 1 of 2. Fraser was closing, but the mark is taken in front. That was a great kick coming in, and Milne will line up from about 35 metres out.
Well, the important thing is he held onto it. The leads were covered. He waited, and the West Coast Eagles pushed back, tried to cover the zone, and were unable to do it. Beautiful option, though, isn't it?
Interesting that last centre bounce, the first gamer, Jamie McNamara, was in there. One of the quartet for the West Coast Eagles. Here's Milne. Rams it into the post.
Well, the first gamer replaced Ben Cousins, Dennis. So straight into the middle.
Gee, they've missed a few, the Saints. I mean, Revolt didn't take the shot. Gehrig misses. And that miss by Milne, uncustomary. Rosa runs his full stretch. Judd on the lead. Lovely half volley. Brilliantly done. Back inside. Got to McNamara, so another touch for him. And then Judd's kick, very good. CB off to Fletcher on his left side. Goes bang and hits the bottom of the post. The big gorilla was getting rid of his man, Dennis.
Is that on the line there?
Oh, don't be pedantic.
Well, it's a game of centimetres, Dennis.
Sometimes.
4 inches, is it?
Too exciting to be umpiring, I can tell you that.
Hayes, Clark, Raph Clark. He and his brother have started okay.
Well, Raph Clark last week just showed that he's not far away from finding some really good form.
Graham, what a good kick. Over the line. Fiora pushing up, takes the mark uncontested. Now Hearn has dropped back into the space. Intelligent kick, short of Hearn. This is Burse. Now he can kick over the coverage and does. Revolt marks on the 50.
Gee, he's working so hard, Nick Revolt.
So it's one-on-one footy deep.
Graham's drifting down. He's already had it 8 times.
Why wouldn't you put it up? Come on, Nick. Kicks from 60. Well, Fraser's out of the contest. Big lead, Kozetski claiming the mark. McNamara.
The little man, 185, 77 kilos.
Doing it all his life. He's got the Mr. Cotter haircut. There's Rosa around the outer side.
First game is now
There
that they
he is
come
again.
in. They know what they're doing. They had such a good apprenticeship.
Seabee, brilliant pickup by the big guy. Down towards half forward. Clears Lynch. Leading back in the race, Maguire. Clark under pressure. Hugs the boundary line with a kick. A beauty coming out. The mark is taken right on the line by Sam Fisher.
No doubt that St Kilda's form has improved because they have been able to hit the targets, especially coming out of defensive 50. It's one area they've really worked on.
Well, if you look at a ladder, from the moment they went to Perth in round 12, they're actually third on the table over the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Behind Geelong and Port, they've been really good for a stretch now. Clark's kick to Sam Fisher was good a moment ago, under real pressure. And now Lee Fisher at centre wing.
Well, what they're doing is they're actually kicking the ball so much, St Kilda, they're hardly handballing at all. And compared to the West Coast Eagles, it's almost every time they kick it, they handball it. Here he is again.
Dare I say, Ox, it's a bit Sydney-like the way they're moving it forward, isn't it? Revolt getting it from Milne. They're just being very careful. They're taking the best option, even if it takes time. Revolt back to Etihad. Came in for Baker. So both Kerr and Baker, big blows for their respective clubs for different reasons this week. Graham, still with Graham, cocky and confident, and then goes to Cozzy and gets in, does he? No. Gee, that was brave by Wirrapunda to take his running late and then played it brilliantly to himself and then sets up Fletcher with a handball. And then Fletcher to Rosa, and then back to Selwood. He's corralled a bit. Rowan Jones came in for Morton. Back to Selwood. Back to Rosa. Ringa Rosie as Wirrapunda goes in short and finds Bo Waters.
Ringa Rosa. There's Waters. Just chips it and straight to Graham. Terrible. Graham back over Waters' head. Then to the pocket. Not much better. Revolt. Was that within 5 metres of the ball? Not sure. Doesn't matter. Hunter's, well, it does matter. Hunter's got the football. It matters to the Saints fans.
Oh, does it ever?
Waters, Staker, kicks towards the wing. Judd, out of bounds on the fall.
Jason Graham's having an influence. He's had 5 inside 50s. And when you're playing in defence, it's not a bad result.
Gilbert to Burse. Burse goes across the ground. All Saints at the moment. This is Ferguson, 60 metres out.
Well, all the backmen for the Saints are actually pushing right up into the middle of the ground.
Opposite to Revolt. Simply too athletic. Too much stamina for Hunter. And he's feeling the pinch. Revolt, just imagine how Hunter's feeling.
Well, he's had 6 marks already. 6 marks in the first quarter. Now, we've got to understand, Hunter's no deal. He's a very good footballer. But Nicky's making him look a little bit like that. Is this one a little bit off the ball? May have been within 5.
Barely. Revolt.
May have to make a change. May have to bring Glass out and put him on Revolt if this form keeps up.
Revolt from right on the 50. That is a telling kick. The kick of a young champion.
Chris Judd coming off the ground, and the Eagles have got their worries. I think Glass or maybe Staker or someone has to be tried on Revolt because Hunter's well and truly on top. But it's Graham and it's all the defenders for the Saints that are actually getting the ball inside. They're pushing into the centre of the ground. No defence can stop that. No backline can stop that when the ball's coming in so regularly.
Well, the champ scores. One champ's come off, Judd, and another one goes back on Cousins. What's up with Ben, Ricky?
Well, an extraordinary sight, Bruce, down here. Ben Cousins had been off the ground for a few minutes, and then he vomited very heavily about 3 to 4 times. It wasn't a pretty sight, and then he ran straight back on and ready to go.
He's a tough guy. CB. Hope you weren't in the vicinity, Rick.
It's a tough guy that reports on that, you've got to say.
There he is. Missed last week, had a bit of hamstring problems, had the sensational first match against the Swans. Chief Fiora was
good hands.
Very, very good to Hayes. Revolt again. Hunter did well.
Just lost the body contact. Really good play there by Hunter.
To Selwood. So West Coast a long way down here.
This is where they've had trouble. They've actually had trouble getting out of their defensive 50.
And Graham's the one that's read a couple of their kicks so well, hasn't he? Here's Cousins. Still getting those boos.
He's a crowd favourite, isn't he?
Burse. McNamara has been very impressive. What a great start by him. And running the ball out.
That's where a small body, first game, can't break those tackles where a Jada or Cousins would be able to break it. He'll work on that over a couple of pre-seasons, and he'd be right. He'd be able to break that tackle.
Well, he's made a terrific start. Justified that inclusion, hasn't he? Montagna and Braun, that was a contest. Montagna brilliantly done. Hayes having a big opening turn. So's Graham. Now D'Alessandro wasn't a great handball because he's on his wrong side, but he takes him on, D'Alessandro, and then pops it up. Kozitzki can't quite get there. Well played, Staker. Hunter's handball, dreadful. Puts real pressure on Waters. Gone, I think. Revolt. Gehrig fishing is Big Fraser. Can't quite get it out. Glass stars. Stingline leaves it for Hunter. Gee, Hunter and Revolt are going to be exhausted at quarter time.
Hunter backed himself. He came off Revolt. Left him in the square.
Hunter's had the 9 possessions. Revolt's had the 7, but he's had the 6 marks. He's taken most of them inside, attacking 50.
Drawn towards the 50. Hansen was being held. He'll get the free.
It's open if he gets it in quick.
Umpire Allen. No, doesn't court much discussion. Hansen 60 metres out. Well, if there's a sweet spot, that was the ugly spot. Fiora.
He's found some form of the last couple of weeks, Dennis.
Gilbert storming off half back. Looks down towards half forward. That ugly spot prominent at the moment. McNamara diving after it. Etihad to his feet. Lays it off. Burst. Clever. Revolt. 65 metres out. Kozitzki in best position. Strong hands. No easy mark, that one.
You're right there, mate.
He made it look easy.
Well, the Eagles have only got themselves to blame because when Nick Revolt got it, you'll see here, all the Eagles peel away from him. So what he's able to do is wheeled onto the left and got time and space to hit a target.
Kozitzki. 30 metres out. Slight angle. St Kilda dominating this game.
The Eagles forward line really now have to start working a lot harder. The midfield have got to get their hands on the footy. As quick as it's going into the West Coast Eagles forward 50, it's coming straight back out. And every time it comes forward, they're going through the go-to player in Nick Revolt. Kozitzki now will join in on the party. And they're looking very, very dangerous.
Equal number of disposals. That is a surprise, isn't it? 8-8 apiece.
But 41 kicks to the Eagles, 47 handballs, 63 kicks to the Saints, and 25 only handballs.
Well, they set that up early, didn't they, with 10 of their first 11 possessions, or disposals being kicks. West Coast getting blown away here and got to hang tough. Prittis, well done. So Rosa off, half back wide to Urpunda. Did well and then got away from Clark, and then at 50 metres goes high to full forward. Seaby there, well done by Gilbert. Ball to be won. Seaby ridden into the ground. Lynch getting it out. Prittis can't quite. St Kilda's tackling has been brilliant, and then Fisher bangs it wide and high out of the danger zone for the moment. Rosa and Fiora, still Rosa and Fiora. Little toe poke. Cousins runs into Burse. It was like running into a brick wall. What an opening turn. Saints make a statement at the Dome.
Oh, did they ever. Hard and tough, ferocious, uncompromising football.
Lowest first quarter score equals their lowest first quarter score for the year, West Coast. The last time they kicked 1-1, they lost by 91 points to Port Adelaide. This is Friday Night Football.
Start of the second term. Kozitzki up high, won it down, got his own ball again, kicks it down towards half forward. Mill over the top, Selwood. Rosa, 12 possessions now. This is Jones in trouble. Selwood lays it off. Staker goes towards the outer side wing. Hansen, so important to them. Right centre wing. Stays along the boundary line. Rowan Jones at full stretch. Good mark.
Jason, back a
Brett
metre.
Voss is just
a 50.
Brett Voss is just a little bit wobbly after a collision only moments ago.
Off the ball.
And I was in play.
Oh, there goes the kick inside the forward 50 then. Well, Clark took his eye off the football. Maguire in trouble. Lacroix trying to paddle at Goldwood. Well done by Lynch to Judd as only he can. Deep in the pocket. Pulls it back towards full forward. And Wirapunda takes a wonderful mark.
Too strong. Read the ball beautifully and just guarded the space behind him. And had the nous when to know to use his body to go back and take the mark.
What about Judd in the pocket?
Pretty handy.
Yep.
Pretty handy.
Hogwarts School of Wizardry. Wirapunda puts it through.
Well, there's a big collision down on the half back line. Here it is. It was almost Fiora pushing his opponent into Voss. Raf Clark needed to take that mark. Wasn't that difficult. LeCras hasn't had much of it. The rising star from last week. But pretty good here by Judd.
So centre clearances, West Coast doing well there. We're put to kick 4 against Carlton early in the year. And he's used forward a lot early, making his name really as that running back pocket. Cousins, so Cousins and Judd getting a bit of it early in the second quarter. Hearn unleashing a long bomb. Lynch not quite. Maguire had a second crack. LeCras, who hasn't had a disposal yet. Lynch working hard, needs to try and get it out.
Tackle it, Susie got it. Thank you, Quinn.
He's a big guy, isn't he?
It's like the running of the Bulls, isn't it? He just puts his head down and you hang on.
Huge. LeCras has been a little bit fumbly. He's had a couple of opportunities. Hasn't been able to grab it cleanly as yet.
Cox and Kazitsky. And then Jones, Gilbert, Cousins brilliantly done, but he ran into another one of those brick walls. They've been good at that, the Saints.
I don't think I've seen the Saints tackled this well pretty much all season. They've been outstanding this evening.
West Coast will think they're playing Sydney.
Yeah.
They've had a few of those in the last couple of years, haven't they?
Well, they've been shut right down.
Hearn, just a little one forward, missed by everybody. We're Wirapunda in the pocket. Graham put a bit of a tackle on him. Free kick, no. Yes, it is to Stengline. He did it well, Stengline, and then goes back conceding to Hansen. I wonder if Hansen was stung by Revolt's first quarter. I mean, he's a centre-half forward of note, isn't he, Hansen?
Well, he would have been stung by John Worsfold when he went to him at the quarter-time break to say, listen, just look up the other end of the ground and see what Nick Revolt's doing and just show us what you can do.
Peer pressure.
He's played in 52 matches, Hansen, and he's been on the winning team in 43 of them. But he's kicked 12-12 so far this season. And that's not a great kick. And he kicked a bad one early in the... Well, late in that first quarter, didn't he? That went down the other end and resulted in a goal. So a miss there.
That was a VIK too, a very important kick, that one.
They just haven't had their hands on the foot in the second term here. The Saints have only had the 2 possessions.
Yeah.
West Coast have had the 16, so they just need to settle down. The Eagles have certainly gone up a notch, though.
Signs are okay for the Eagles if they get the next goal. There's Maguire. Suddenly, it's a game again. Maguire kicks beyond the wing, down towards half forward. Working in front, Jones runs out of bounds. 5-3 goals suddenly. Doesn't look too bad.
Don't underestimate that kick then, too, by Maguire. He had Cox in the space, had to clear his head and find the boundary line. Revolt was back in the 50-metre line arc, so he had to go towards the boundary.
Cox is doing very well at the moment, and again decisively. Some indecision. Stengline called Cousins in. He went down. Hayes has got it, and that ball does not come out. Kazitsky hasn't played a lot of football recently, and Cox is getting right on top here. Watch this again. Cox and Kazitsky circling. Cox, well done Fiora. Sensed there was a problem. Third man up. Left an extra man down though. Prittis, Rosa, Cox, Rosa running out of room, and the ball is out of bounds.
Well, that's one way you can really nullify a ruckman doing his job properly. Have the third man up, then he becomes reliant upon all the blokes around him, which takes away one option that Cox has, because he has to mind maybe a Fiora or a ball or someone like that.
Because he was so good in Perth against the Eagles. He kicked 4 goals in the first half, but he's only played 5 of the 8 games since. So Dennis is right, he's missed a few. Gee, Cousins is sucking it in, isn't he?
Well,
Digging deep here.
Well, we heard in the first quarter from Ricky that he was vomiting on the ground, so normally that's not a good sign.
Selwood back to Cox. Gee, having an impact, isn't he? Switches inboard. Now Hearn's half a chance here. He's 55 out. Can he bring it back? It won't be a goal. And another miss. Not easy to kick those, but he had a sniff of it. And West Coast right now, for the first time in this match, actually getting some domination. They've got to put it on the board.
Something the Saints didn't do.
They might have the breeze, Dennis. Seems to be going down that way.
Close the door. Here's Graham in the back pocket. Maguire takes off there. Next goal, very important in the context of this game. Maguire to half-forward, Voss running hard.
Gee, Maguire's got some penetration with his kicks. Two beautiful ones in the last couple of minutes.
Revolt on the move. So too Fraser. In from the side, Glass, and that's good enough. They'll regroup, get some bodies back.
Well, we heard Tim Watson at quarter time talking about Glass and Garrick taking him up the ground. Garrick was started back in the goal square. I'd probably like what Tim was saying. Get him out. Get that open 50 and get Glass right out of the action.
Fraser feeling the effects on his haunches in the square.
Under the shoulder.
And Cox
In the ruck contest, just arm on, hand on the shoulder.
getting the free. No doubting that. Cox goes short.
Play on.
Stengline. Pritis. Half distance kick. Nice one too. Jones. Pritis once more. Needs his left side. Straightens. Kicks towards half forward Lynch. They're back in this, the Eagles. Don't worry about that. They're down by 20. But looking much better. They need a goal. Lynch the high ball towards full forward. Chaos in the pack. Collateral damage. We'll see a free kick. In fact, the umpire may pay advantage. Wirapunda, I presume, kicked it. I was watching back where the bodies were. Wirapunda got the goal. The Eagles trail by just 14 and they're making a move.
I'd like to have another look at this. Revolt looked back. He was a bit worried about Hunter.
Ferguson.
There it is. That's there all day long. Eyes off the footy. You run into a pack. Oh, you got a push. You got a fair dinkum double-handed push in the back there by Lacroix. Umpire didn't see it. And Wirapunda's kicked his second for this evening.
Beauty in the eye of the beholder, Bruce.
Judd again to Wirapunda for the second time. So the Eagles doing so well here. They've had 4 scoring shots to nil in this quarter. They've gone from 1-1 to 3-3, winning the centre clearances. Pritis had a fair bit of it. Hayes, brilliant. Fisher's hands were good. Fiora takes on Stengline and he's gone.
Just keep them on, holding the ball.
Well, the West Coast are giving the Saints some of their own medicine now, aren't they?
Well, the John Worsfold's message at quarter time certainly sparked them.
Waters delivers brilliantly to Lynch.
I've got it. Hey, I'll just make a big run.
Can't stop that.
3 steps into it.
Go, Jack, go.
Yep, gone.
Well, he kicked a big goal in the opening term, one they needed at the time. And Lynch looks lively. No Hutchison tonight. Always felt that was going to be a worry for the Saints.
Well, I think one other worry too is Raf Clark picking up Wirapunda. I think that needs to be changed very, very quickly.
These are the ones that need to be kicked. When you've got momentum going, he's normally a good kick, Lynch. That is beautiful to watch. That's his second.
Beautiful kick, and that's exactly what you want from your big full forward. Important there that Waters stayed down on Lenny Hayes, but this was the tackle. Fiora's body's not big enough to take on some of the big midfielders of the West Coast Eagles, especially Stengline, who's one of the best tacklers they've got. But this is the kick. Impossible to stop. He had space to work into. Wirapunda front and square, as you would expect.
Saints struggling to get the footy. Margin just 8 points now. Moments ago it was 28. Early going. Second term Friday night football. Cox, who's been terrific, down to Stengline. Some indecision. Kazetsky Knocked it across to Del Santo. Etihad in two minds. Inside the forward 50. Revolt lunging for it. He's going to get the free kick. Stayed off the ball. Protected the drop zone.
Holding. I only seen your arm around the back of his Adam, okay? Smart, please. Adam, please.
Don't think Adam's got much of a case, really, do you?
No, he's got the arm around the back and the umpire's off to the side, so that's all he can see. Pretty big kick in the context of this match. The Eagles have got a bit of a run on here and just shut it out.
Coming off 13 marks last week. Best effort against the West Coast Eagles. 15 marks, round 9, 2004. He's on song tonight.
The St Kilda players should be saying to Nick Revolt, all right, son, you just take the whole 35 metres to 60. We'll give you space. You work in there. We believe you can beat him one-on-one. You lead up on him. You're strong enough. You got the smarts. Clear out. Give him all the opportunities. He's got his kicking boot on too, which will give all players going to him enormous confidence that he's going to finish off the good work.
First score for the Saints in this quarter. Revolt with a couple now. Lynch and Ruapunda with all the goals for West Coast. So Clark now on the ground doing the ruck work to give Cozzy a bit of a breather.
Stay all tight on it, my ball.
Ruapunda's form has really unsettled St Kilda in a lot of ways because they've had to make the change with Clark, but they've also got Graham onto him now, which stops the run that they had in the first term.
Ruapunda will be thinking, I used to play like Graham, didn't I? That was my role.
Yep.
Milne, poor kick, but he should be okay. To Montagna. Out wide to Burse. Just played the 3 games last year, Burse. That's a terrible kick coming from the Bulldogs. And McNamara made such an impression in the opening term. Came on about halfway through it. Quickly got hold of the footy. Did a couple of good things. This must be daunting. He just doesn't want to waste the football, and he doesn't.
Oh, you don't. You just put it up for Chris Judd and let him run onto it.
It's been important, Judd, hasn't he? Not big possessions or disposals, but they've counted so far in this match. To Stengline, to Cousins, who's had a much better second quarter, to Ruapunda. That's a good matchup at the moment for the Eagles. Down the line towards Glass, who's, as Tim said, working Gehrig, and Lacroix, who hasn't been able to get a handle at all on it. No disposals at all, as Glass now will make the long trip back and take a G train with him.
Well, he's had about probably 5 or 6 touches of the footy, Lacroix, but just hasn't been able to cleanly take it.
Sebi knocked it down. McNamara in the thick of it. Blake did well. Milne across the body. High ball towards the wing. Well done by Gehrig. Stayed on his feet. Loose ball at the back. Favours Gehrig. Hand passes to space. Coming across on the angle to close it down is Fletcher. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Fletcher hasn't had a lot of time on the ground. He's only had the 3 possessions. Got a pretty open forward 50 here, the Saints.
Fraser thinking about extending his career perhaps at a club with a shorter ground. This is Blake. Cousins slips it away. Well done by Fletcher. On the burst, Jones goes to half forward. Lacroix from behind, missed by Ferguson. Well done, Fisher with dash. Now Graham, who's been terrific, pushing up towards the wing. A second bounce. Goes beyond the wing, steps Judd. Awkward half volley to Lee Fisher. Now Revolt, can he mark it? Knocked away at the second attempt by Hunter. Taken by Fiora. Brilliantly crumbed. Snaps the goal.
And started from Jason Graham. He's run again. He took off from Ruapunda. He took a bounce. He took them on. And that's what he wanted to do. Nick Revolt, good contest there, but front and square by Fiora. And it's pretty handy when it falls into a bloke's hand when he's on the left side and you got a left footer kicking for goal. Really good finish. But it's Graham's work off that half back line that every time he gets his hands on the footy, something seems to happen.
He's blooming late, isn't he, Fiora? His cousin sits it out. He's such a high, I think, number 3 draft pick when he went.
Well, sometimes that happens. It's normally with Ruckman, but Fiora might be in that category.
He's one of 4 Saints to have played every match this year. He's been very good. That was a great goal. And Graham's run was outstanding, and Lee Fisher's kick was brilliant. Saints working so well here together. And Hayes unloads to centre half forward. Staker again, Revolt, an important touch. Ball runs onto it. The give to Etihad, couldn't quite get the kick away. And then Hunter gets the big G train in his sights, and he had to keep his head down. Glass, Staker, Glass. Jumping shadows a little bit, but he knew he had nowhere to go. And Stengline coughed it up uncharacteristically. Fisher gets it back and just goes bang and kicks a beauty.
Pressure, pressure, pressure by the Saints forwards. They've worked tirelessly at that part of their game, that every time the West Coast defenders get the footy, they make sure that they put enough pressure on, so they've got to give away a handball, that they don't get the easy kick out. And it's amazing, it turns into perceived pressure, and all of a sudden West Coast defenders are making mistakes where 5 minutes ago they weren't.
Lee Fisher, his first goal of the season, made his debut against the West Coast Eagles here at the Dome, round 18, 2003. First opponent, Ashley Sampi. 8-5-4-3, back in the middle. Only good teams can do this, what the Saints have done. They're in trouble, they've settled, and they fought fire with fire. Fisher's over the football and a ball up. Still got the makings of a very good game of football, this one. Sando and Voss looking on. Bounce from umpire McBurney alongside the centre circles. Nobody touched it. Falls to Hayes down towards half forward. 4 men inside the 50. In fact, 6. 2 back in the square. Well done by Staker to Hunter. Bit of a fumble. Waters falling to the ground, taken high. Bit lucky. Selwood wants to go. Not much advantage there. Prentice in trouble. Selwood run down by Revolt, but not before he gave it to Hunter. Strides through the centre square. Lynch. And I think for just a moment, umpire McBurney was reaching for his Eagles beanie. He paid advantage, and it looked a disaster, but they got out of it.
Well, Prentice kind of did a 1-2 that no one expected and was able to clear the 3 St Kilda players. And lacks of fortune, they brought it in. Looks dangerous though when they come in really quick and hard. And this bloke's at full speed coming up towards them. Very, very dangerous.
Started the night with 43 goals. Steps to the 50. Distance will not be a problem. And neither will be accuracy.
Well, that's 3 goals now. It's not a bad result. Working pretty hard when the ball comes in. I think Maguire's played okay on him, but the delivery inside when they actually got it through the middle of the ground without any pressure has been spot on. Nick Revolt's opponent on that occasion, Hunter, put the kick in, but he just finished laying a tackle.
So just 2 goal scorers for West Coast, 3 to Lynch and 2 to Wirrapunda. The Saints have got 7. Dennis mentioned fire with fire. Hunter doing just that with Revolt there, wasn't he? Taking him on, running away, setting up. He's got to do it.
He's had the 12 possessions, Hunter, so he's getting his hands on the footy.
You're not going to close Revolt off all night. You've just got to play your own game, and that's Hunter's swing game, isn't it?
Yep.
Hayes, Montagna. Prittis got an important touch. Was that a scoop up? Not paid, so Montagna from ball, and then Montagna strides to Revolt. Hunter at the back, Gehrig's a chance, hasn't quite got the pace. Milne, Glass, still Milne, left foot, misses. Gee, worked it well. Couldn't blame him having a snap.
He's got the highest ball drop for a player. He kicks around corners and he drops it from almost shoulder height. Very hard to get your accuracy spot on when it's up that high.
So Cox to Rosa. Cool to go. This is where they had some problems, wasn't it, in the first quarter? At half-back trying to get it out. Brett Jones A little up and under. McNamara back to Rosa.
Rosa looks inside the forward 50, sets it up. Staker, last man up, applies a tackle on the way down. Met solidly by Maguire. Clark comes over the top and a bounce 40 metres out.
McNamara looks like he belongs. Nothing in that. Just giving him a bit of almost a Chinese burn.
Can't be sure these days. Montagna, Etihad, right half back. I tell you what, the AFL Boffins will be loving this non-stop footy. From what I could see during the week, Steve Baker got 7 weeks for stopping. They're enforcing it. There's Zav Clark. Now towards half forward, Revolt. Just keeps running.
Yeah.
Just forward of the wing. Not a good kick, but effective. Fiora, who could just about do the trip from here.
And it's the right side for the left footer. He curls it left to right.
You sound like the skipper on the rink.
He's got to believe in himself here. He's got to go back and believe he can kick it.
52 metres out, a little bit skinny, falling back, right to left, hits the post halfway up. Good attempt. Margin 22 points.
So 3 goal to 4 quarter here. West Coast making a charge early. And the Saints responding. Prittis, Fletcher short.
Been a little bit quiet. He's only had the 4 touches, Fletcher.
Hasn't played much senior footy this year. John Worsfold. Well done by Hayes and Braun. Hayes terrific. Worsfold looking for a big second half of the season for Fletcher. Stingline takes his place on the field. Hayes terrific.
A lot of interchanges, a lot of players working pretty hard.
Blake helps out there against Cox, and then Prittis had his kick smothered. Little give clever. Etihad. Del Santos handball very good. Lee Fisher. Good looking kick, but Glass so quick off the mark.
Just had to go wider. Fraser had space.
Stephen Silvani said yesterday that he's been the best fullback in the comp for the last 3 years, and he's got the job on Garrick tonight.
And and we knew he was going to fight back because Matthew Richardson last week really towed him up.
So Selwood out wide. Lynch has been so important. Just turns his man and then goes with a long one to full forward. Lacroix got it.
Well, this is his first touch for this evening. He's been on the ground for the full 45 minutes. But Lynch's effort here. Remember, he's 6'5" and he's 110 odd kilos. He turned on a 2-cent piece and was able to hit Lacroix, who led into the space. When the ball comes in that quick, so hard for defenders to stop.
So his first kick right in front. He's been a goal kicker all year and kicks his 29th for the season.
Well, I think he only got it 10 times last week, Bruce, but he was able to get his 4 goals. Got the NAB Rising Star, as we know. He's got plenty of talent, but it's Lynch who's starting to cause problems for the Saints defenders. And he always was, because he has got the big body and no Hutchton out there. But it's the quality of football that's coming to him at the moment that would really worry Ross Lyon. Too easy out of the midfield. Having trouble getting out of defence, but it's when they get into the centre of the ground, too easy going inside attacking 50.
What happens in the goal square stays in the goal square.
All right. This far off the footy.
55 to 39. Lacroix playing his 17th game this season. 27 goals. 3 hauls of 4. Prittis knocks it forward. Diving over it was Stengline. Got boot to ball in the opposite direction. Etihad. He was an ambitious man.
Well, he had to pick it up, and he had to pick it up clean, and he did that.
Thank you.
And they dropped the net on him.
Give us room.
Gilbert and Judd. Off the ball.
Play on.
Cox knocks it wide. Montagna, though, touched off the boot. Selwood has been very good. Slips it away. So is this young man, McNamara. Cox, he's been the catalyst in getting them back. Running out of space. Well, sold Waters into trouble. Not a good hand pass. Well done by Clark applying pressure. Fisher goes short. This is Raf Clark. Xavier applied the tackle on Waters. Now Kazitsky on the wing. Takes a while. Kicks it down towards half forward. Selwood got a boot on it. Finessing over the ball. Revolt. Well done by Hayes. Boss. Well, turn around, Hunter. Ball trickles out to him now. Slips it away. Staker. Twisting. Turning. Selwood in desperate trouble. Pushed across the line.
Had a teammate there. Throw it in. Had a teammate.
16 possessions for Adam Selwood. Terrific young player. The sobering thought is he may not be the best player in his own family.
He's got some competition,
Yeah,
hasn't
there's
he?
some quality there.
G. Hayes has been wonderful tonight again. Lee Fisher, Montagna to Del Santo. He's a left footer. And he made pretty good contact, but it was never going to be straight. And behind. Well, what an interesting 4 minutes coming up, Ox. With one goal either way makes a massive difference to the look of that scoreboard, doesn't it?
Certainly does, but both sides at the same time, if they get a bit of a run on, you know they can score goals very, very quickly.
So we could have a 4-goal game at half-time or a 2-goal game. We're putting a slow kick to Rosa picked off.
I reckon Aaron Fiora's perception within the football world has grown enormously this year. He's been, I think he's won a lot of support over. Had a great year.
Kosicki and Cox. Cox did well. And then Hayes for Montagna, been busy. Montagna wide. Gee, Lee Fisher's been important coming forward in this half. Well, he gets a second crack. Anything I can do, you can do just as well.
They're getting tired, aren't they?
It's not often you see two smothers almost in a row. There we go.
So Saints pressing hard here.
Thrown in right on the 50. Kosicki lays it down. Stengline wrestled down.
No chance. Wrapped him up. Thanks. Stay there, BA.
Just
Stay
over
there.
3 minutes till half time.
One concern for the Saints, Luke Ball only did 3 touches, had a severe corky last week. I don't think he's right. We might speak to Ricky about that a little bit later.
Cox clean possession this time, lays it off. Prittis out of defence. Lynch flies in front, knocked away by Fisher. Plenty of eagles around the pack. Cousins too slow, taken down by Montagna. Lynch tries to crash his way out. Prittis, close quarters to Judd. Judd the sweeping hand pass. McNamara lost it. Cousins a brilliant pickup. Gives it back to Lynch. Lynch goes over the top. Staker. Judd, 55 metres out. Gilbert got him. Holding the ball. Well, the mind was willing. Maybe the body quite unable to pull it off.
It's a good tackle out the hips, isn't it?
It was, but maybe Chris Judd, fully fit, gets away. Here's Clark around the outer side.
Just lopes, doesn't he, Raf Clark, to Fiora, who Ox has spoken about in glowing terms. Get your top forward in a minute, Ox. It's been a great first half of football.
Oh, has it ever?
Fiora to Revolt.
Oh, it's got to be a free.
Go behind. You've got your arm around his middle. You weren't even close to footy at him. No, mate. One line there, Nick. Leave the mark there. No, back a metre.
Well, he's got his hand around his waist. What about this for a tackle? Just head down, straight at the hips. He's got a rugby background too, hasn't he?
That's virtually a collector's item, and I think that one, don't you?
Brilliant. Well, he's
Cut
kicked
that one
well.
up down and put it on the wall.
I think so.
He's kicked well, Revolt. He's kicked 3.
Has he ever?
He's been the big player in a big first half.
He's a star, this bloke. His concentration levels are really good too. When he goes out of the game for 5 or 10 minutes, he just looks like every time he goes to footy that he's just a real threat to take it. It's raw talent, but gee, you just love sitting there watching a bloke like that.
Makes the Gilbert tackle even more important, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's the little things.
Ricky Olorenshaw.
Just on Xavier Clark, I mentioned in the first quarter he got a corked thigh. Well, I've been watching him for the rest of this game. He's actually getting worse. It must be bleeding, and he's now come off the ground. So he's actually getting worse as the game goes on. A fair bit of work to do at half-time on Xavier Clark. Also, Michael Braun has spent a fair bit of time on the bench, but he's received no treatment, so there's no injury worries there.
Such an important goal, that last one. Kosicki over the top. Prittis had it, lost it. Cousins. Cox once more playing his heart out down towards half forward. Lynch pushing up the ground, step for step Fisher. Lynch paddles it across. McNamara hooks it inside the 50. Lacroix comes to it. Getting back is Graham. Lays it off to Hayes. Oh, great evasion. Hayes from half back punches it back towards the wing. Wonderful kick. Got there quickly. Del Santo back to Burse. Burse running down towards the 50. Lost it. Hearn's got it. Just over a minute to play in the term. Waters to Lynch. Lynch in short. Lacroix's got it inside the centre circles. Wants to go. Pritis a left footer. Sold into trouble. As a result, untidy hand pass Del Santo. Tackled by Stengline. Jarred out of there. In goes Maguire. In fact, it was Ferguson. Lost the football. Pritis couldn't control it. Blake to Fisher. And now Clark.
Good stuff, Dennis. And Burst gets hold of it now. Now he's got nowhere to go. Important last seconds in this opening half. Ralph Clark. Judd comes towards him. He just goes long. Wants Blake to make a contest with Waters. Still a chance maybe for the Eagles. Fletcher had to keep his head over it. Fisher held him up. Braun's little handball. Lynch playing up the ground. Well done to Cox. To Pritis, left footer. Comes back. Can they squeeze a goal? Can Judd do something? He's got Braun running. There's a whistle. It's a free kick to Seaby.
Mark's here, thanks, mate. Matty Maguire, Mark's here. Clear hold of the jumper. He's trying to run out and you're grabbing hold of his jumper.
Well,
Clear,
a big
mate.
play.
Clear as day.
Here's a big play.
Right there, Mark. There's a mark there. Help me.
Umpire Allen is fearless too. You've got to say that.
Yeah, there it is. Just had hold of it. He hasn't had a kick this quarter, Seaby, so it might be a very, very important kick. In fact, it will be a very important kick.
16 goals, 3 from set shots this year.
A beautiful set shot.
They need the goal, don't they? They've had a pretty good second quarter, but so have the Saints. West Coast need this, and he's missed.
Wow.
Well, it's like a balloon being deflated, isn't it?
Yep.
16-3 going into that kick, and at half-time going in, it's a 22-point ball game. What a half we've seen. This is Friday Night Footy.
Second half on Friday Night Football. One down by Cox. And a free kick is going to Ben Cousins being held
Holding around him. Holding around his waist.
at the base of the pack. Squares it. Cox so often just peels off. Bobs up on the wing, goes to Wirrapunda. He's 55 metres out, Wirrapunda. Thought about the short pass to Lacroix. Thinks better of it. Jones indicating he wants it wide right. Clearing that space is Judd. So the kick goes in that direction. Jones from behind. Well, didn't touch it. Maguire certainly touched. Thrown down by Lynch. Fletcher to Hearn. Lofts one. He's gone with a wedge. Behind.
Big change down on Nick Revolt. Brett Jones has got the job to start the second half. We'll see how his engine is and how big his tank is. Hunter might have just been a little bit worn out in the first half.
So Clark to Maguire. He won't have fond memories of a late season match last year against West Coast, will he, when he broke his leg on this ground in round 18. Now, Ralph Clark's run very hard here down the ground to his brother Xavier. Rick's told us about his injury concerns, but he's played cleverly tonight, Clark, and then bangs it forward. Can Fraser Gehrig get it? Bouncing ball, running away from everybody. Under the punt. Now Gehrig. Oh, the G-Tone nearly spent it, didn't he? He had the ticket in his pocket and couldn't quite use it. Staker to Jones. Got it from Waters, and now the other Jones. Rowan, who runs hard and kicks out wide. Stengline, and now Judd. Good hip and shoulder. Del Santo and Judd. Judd clever. Back to Stengline. And then Stengline with a neat little kick. Lynch couldn't quite. Rowan Jones runned onto it. Left foot, bouncing ball. No, didn't bounce. Went straight to Hanson.
Well, the problem was there, Sam Fisher took his eyes off the footy. Hanson didn't. Saw the ball coming, came in, and just here you'll see it. Just took his eyes off the footy, and Hanson was able to take an easy mark.
Judd's so clever. Sorry, Ox. Judd's so clever at half forward.
Certainly was, he, and then he kept the ball in too, and brought his other teammate into it.
So Hanson to get the first goal. Oh. No, he's missed. So he's had 3 very poor kicks tonight. One at half forward, centering ball that resulted in a turnover and a goal, and then 2 pretty easy shots for goal.
Well, he just leant back on it. There it is. Seaby's miss, then that miss. 2 crucial ones that should have been 2 goals. the margin a lot closer.
Del Santo, clever kick over Judd. Grams away. Testing Judd. Poor kick down towards half forward though. Ball rarely sighted tonight. Tracks it out of bounds. Brickyella Renshaw.
West Coast made one big change at half-time. Adam Hunter's come off the ground and Brett Jones has now picked up the dangerous Nick Revolt.
What do we think? Hunter injured?
Well, it's a big job for him, but he'll all he has to do is stick by him. Easier said than done.
Cox, first hand to it. Kaczynski, very good at roving. Del Santo, untidy. So to Rowan Jones, lurking at the back. Well played by Jones. Brett Jones, now Cousins through midfield towards half forward. Lynch, brilliant gather. Look at him go. Swings it down towards full forward. Lacroix works in front. Fisted away by Ferguson. Getting back Wirapunda off the boot of Ferguson and across the line. So under 20 points now. And the Eagles starting the third term as they did the second. And there's Hunter prowling the boundary.
Lynch looks impressive when he comes up. He gets it. He turns really well for a big fella.
Well, he's been the second best forward on the ground tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been so good. Revolt the other one. Voss's kick not good. He leant back.
Time to change the footy. Too many missed kicks. Kick a point, get a new one out of the basket and see if that works.
I think they're just tired, even though it's just after half time.
Should be fresh, Dennis. Go in and have a cuppa and put the feet up.
Saints haven't lost a match this year when leading at half-time. They've led 10 times for 9 wins and a draw. The draw here against the Dogs. And the Eagles have only come from behind once at half-time this year for a win in round 2 against Collingwood at Subiaco. Cox terrific. Prittis, who was very busy in the first half, to the hot spot. Belted away Sam Fisher and Maguire in unison. And then Milne, who's played deep a bit tonight, to Gilbert. And a very good first half, Gilbert. Measures that kick. Waters, well, that was terrific by Ball. I thought Waters had used his hands on Ball early.
Well, that's just strong. That is really, really well orchestrated there to keep your front position. He kind of missed him though, didn't he, Waters?
So Xavier Clark gets it from Ball.
Premature elevation out there from Beau Waters. He's missed a bit of footy. Short one to Ball from Clark. Meanders beyond the wing. Intended for Voss. Can't keep it in. Boundary throw in.
Eagles just look like they're pushing the Saints a lot wider than what they did in the first half, which they'll be happy with, and then they can come through the corridor and attack, go into the forward 50 quick and find Lynch coming on a full stretch lead.
McNamara looking on. Auspicious debut. Stenglein clever, was held a long time.
Had his arm. Had his arm.
He just flicked it. Didn't take possession. Into the path of Prittis. Now he's got the free left half back. Big crowd. Terrific atmosphere tonight. Selwood. Back to Stenglein. Drives it towards half forward. Going back Hansen. Attempted the one-hander. The balance shown by Fisher. Raph Clark on the overlap. Has the bounce. Milne surrounded by Eagles. That was an interesting bounce. Now he's thrown it away.
Lost control of the footy. He lost control of it.
Oh, gee, that's a big call. He didn't punch it.
Well, his first bounce was under 10 style.
Inside the forward 50. Glass again. Got in front of Gehrig and took the mark. Braun. It's coming back, though.
Bring it back. Can't play on forward of the mark.
Look at this first bounce. Oh, no, there's the free kick.
Oh, I think he knew what he was doing. I'm not sure he lost control. He just flicked it away.
It was almost Kevin Bartlett style.
Barry Cable.
Put it out in front. Hope to be tackled, win the free kick.
Stenglein. Interesting kick. Waters steps around. Milne takes the mark. Beau Waters looking towards half forward. Lynch again, always dangerous. Up, couldn't hang on. Spills to Fletcher. Hearn, who's a long kick, lines up. Judd is battling down there. Offline. And through for a behind. He's had a couple of chances. He's kicked 3 behinds tonight, Hearn. And that's a throw.
Bit of a shovel there, wasn't it? It's a real interesting part of the match here.
They've had 4 scoring shots here, the Eagles. They kicked 3-2 before St Kilda had their first scoring shot in the second quarter. So they had 5 scoring shots in the first 12 minutes of the second quarter. But here they've kicked 4 behinds. The Hansen one, the outstanding miss, I guess, the easy one. Kaczynski gets it. Clark coming off again, Xavier Clark. So you just wonder, I'm thinking aloud, Rick, you just wonder how much longer he can play apart Clark. So Kazicki, that's slack a bit. It was not a good kick. It was out on the fall.
Hunter's gone back onto the ground and picking up Nick Revolt. I was happy with the Jones matchup. He did quite well in the first half a dozen contests.
They can't find the corridor, can they? St Kilda in this half at the moment. As Brett Jones just blazes away. A heap of Saints there. Lynch has been so good. And then he's attacked front on him from the side. And a boundary throw in.
It's been a scrappy start to the third term, considering the first half was pretty highly skilled.
Boundary throw in. Cox
Nice
brilliantly. Priddis tracked it. Ball, wonderful courage. Stood his ground. Fiora could have almost got it free. Digs it out. Hayes. Del Santo's away. Ambitious bounce. Hearn got a hand in there. Rosa couldn't hang on. Montagna on the up nicely. Graham goes towards half forward. Look at him go.
Got an open 50.
Revolt sets it up. Fraser behind. Juggles it all. Well done, Glass. Knocked it down to Braun. Glass in front. Did terrifically well. Now Fletcher, the beneficiary, with some time, runs to centre half back. A real tug of war. The kicking's been terrible in this term. Down goes Jones to Hearn. Run down from behind. Feeds it wide. Selwood takes his time. This is Waters. And Rosa will settle.
Right there, Jason.
Well, Glass has got Garrick mentally now. Get him up the ground. Get someone else down there.
So Rosa to Braun. Etihad did pretty well. He held Braun up for the moment. Then Braun to Hanson. Fisher gave him a little shove and then won the ball brilliantly to Clark. Back to Del Santo. They need a goal, the Eagles. They've made the running and they haven't been able to put one away. Revolt and Hunter. Hunter wins a battle.
Good strength.
Revolt won the war in the first half, didn't he? But that was a good one for Hunter. To Waters as they try and launch another attack. Where's Lynch? He's short and he's got him almost. Yes, free kick.
But he'll load up from here. The glove comes off, he'll load up.
Nothing wrong with a spoil. Nothing wrong with a spoil. Held on and tackled him to the ground.
So you got the explanation. Not sure if you agree. Certainly Matty Maguire doesn't. Well, you don't think the distance will be a worry, do you? I mean, he's inside the heart of the centre square, but he just makes 60 metres look easy, this guy.
You could put this into the second tier.
Can he kick a fourth goal? He's a mile back. It's going, not quite. It's goal. Back heel. Hanson, I think. Well, Matty Lloyd started something, did he?
Well, it went all the way to the line, and St Kilda, they didn't have a person front and square like the Eagles did. Let's have a look at this. Going just about all the way.
No, it was Rowan Jones. So Rowan Jones gets the goal. And they're closing here.
And if they didn't miss those two kicks with Seaby and Hanson, gee, just about locked up.
62 to 50. Let's go down to Ricky Olorenshaw.
We talked about Xavier Clark's cork thighs. Now on the bike, trying to keep that loosened up. What happens as the game goes on? It keeps bleeding into the muscle and it becomes more restricted. So the longer he's off, the more will tighten up. So keep on the bike to keep him warm. I reckon he's got one more burst left in him.
The ruckman touched the ball. Blake out of the middle towards half forward. Heard the call. Fiora played on. Gives it across to Etihad. Brilliantly done by Hearn. Good tackle. Rosa jabbed the ball out. Braun goes back to Priddis. He's away, Priddis. Etihad is down on Hearn. There goes the kick towards half forward. Clears the leading Lynch. Getting back is Clark to Maguire. Maguire from right half back. Kicks it high towards the wing. They've got 2-on-1 out there, the Saints, despite the fact Etihad is down in midfield, but the ball has gone out of bounds. Jaden Etihad in trouble. It always seems unseemly when they shuttle them off like that. CB, Cousins, who's been quiet around the boundary line. In front, Lynch tries to turn his man, gets back on the foot, he lays it off to Jones, who's been very effective. Open goal beckons, Fletcher goes in and kicks it.
Well, they've got their problems now, the Saints. They've got a couple of injuries. Etihad now going off. Ball, who's got a couple of problems. Clark, who was seen on the bike, but it's this bloke here, Big Lynch, leading up at the footy. Strong, hard leads to the kick-up. Been really clean at ground level because a lot of the kicks have landed short. Nimble enough to pick it up and get it off and bring other players into the game. Been outstanding.
Closest they've been since the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. Within a goal. Here's the injury to Etihad, who was the replacement for Stephen Baker. And he's done well out. That's a blow because they could be running out of players. They've got Hayes and Ball and Kazitsky on the interchange at the moment.
Looked innocuous though, didn't it?
Yep. So back to a one-goal game. Saints being challenged as they were in the second term, but this is even tighter. Fisher, Del Santo, they need clean ball here and a clear head. Burst out wide. Inboard, good half volley, Lee Fisher, and that's a good play to Montagna. Graham's been outstanding, gets to 50, high ball to full forward, Revolt, not quite, the G-Train kicks the goal.
Just want to have a look at the replay on the ball coming in. Well, there was a couple of sets of hands. Here's Graham, who's worked really well off half-back. Ball comes in. Fraser, nice little push out. That's just what they needed. No, that's fine. No, that's fine. In the side. He still looked fumbly, though.
And Revolt drew them to him, didn't he?
They needed that one. Ricky Olorenshaw.
Well, we saw Jaden Adult come off a few minutes ago. Couldn't put any weight through that left leg at all. He's gone straight down the rooms with a physio. It appears to be his left knee, so he's getting that assessed at the moment.
Margin 12 points midway through this third term. Friday night football. Playing for a lot of the marbles tonight. CB is up, knocks it down. Stenglein went to ground. Matty Clark hasn't seen a lot of time tonight. Hayes taken down. Will have a ball up. Ross Lyon, born in 1966, a famous year in the history of the Saints. Looking to go to the finals. A loss tonight will make it hard. Clark knocks it down. Prittis in trouble. Improvises, kicks it towards half forward. Rowan Jones again, getting plenty of it. Feeds it back. Taken by Waters. Well, almost. Well, missed by McNamara. Now he's in trouble. I think he's gone. No prior opportunity. Sometimes it pays to be clumsy.
And it pays to be playing your first game because you get a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. He didn't have a chance there.
No.
Clark to Hayes to Milne. It's got Graham. It's a clever kick.
Oh, is it ever?
Graham running. Now, Lee Fisher probably should have provided the shepherd, but Graham goes long to Kazitsky in the goal square. Del Santo, not quite. Did well. Back to Kazitsky. Jones, terrific. And then McNamara doing well under the pump. And now Selwood's under the pump. Gee, Hayes has been good. To Milne. Still with Milne. Clever kick for the second time in a minute. And finds Burse.
Two beautiful kicks by Stephen Milne. The first one hit Graham through the centre, but it was the play there of Del Santo and Hayes to keep the ball alive, to keep pressure on the West Coast defenders. Coughs it up. Smart kick.
What Hayes did there, Gary Ablett's been doing, hasn't he? Scavenging the ball down low all year.
Put one hand over the back and drag with the other.
He kicked a couple of goals in an important Friday night match, did Burse, when he was coming back this year. Now that's not going to get there, is it? It's a behind. Never looked good off the boot. But the Saints out to 13 after the Eagles had closed to 6.
Waters ambles outside the defensive 50. Fisher did well, kept his feet. Rosa, wonderful balance. Braun around the outer side wing. Bounces towards half forward. Hanson put the body in. Maguire Well played. Clark's got it. Fiora set away on his left side. Sam Fisher wants it. Breaking from deep in defence. Gilbert, can he get to this football? Yes, he can. Here's trouble for the Eagles. Gilbert's kick is a shocker. It goes inside the forward 50, but really, it gave the forwards no hope. Jones pushing up. Fletcher, end-to-end stuff at the dome. Hunter goes wide, stretching Wirapunda. Trying to get through Ferguson. Upended Wirapunda. And the ball crosses the boundary line.
Could have almost been a free kick there for or against Ferguson.
Do you know, Ox just played 2 games in 3 years before tonight. His last game was in the final in Adelaide in 2005 when the Saints knocked off the Crows.
A long time ago, isn't it?
He was put back on the list at the start of this year after being dropped off. Ball good. Fiora held up. Just feel like we're going to have a big finish, don't you?
Yeah, it's going to be a grand finish.
Paul Roos, well, he's got a match tomorrow night.
Johnny Blakey there as well.
Played a bit of footy between them, Roosy and Blakey, didn't they?
Oh, and Johnny Longmire just off to the left even further.
Both in the 350s, those two. I think Robert Harvey's sandwiched between them at the moment. Prittis to Cousins, to Fletcher, to Cousins. Arches his back, bounces, delivers. Wonderful glass. That was so clever. Brilliantly done.
Take your head off.
I think tip your glass.
Well, Backman had got courage, we know that. But this could have been a train wreck. The ball came in, there was about 6 players that could have flown for this. Oh, that is brave.
Tell you what, Ox, if you're giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, I reckon Nick Revolt's being challenged by Darren Glass, don't you? It's been outstanding.
Yeah, he has. Garrick just got a late one only moments ago, but gee, he's been good.
Hanson has kicked very badly tonight. He's got the yips.
He has.
Couldn't make a 3-footer up the hill right now. 12-point game.
Round to bring it in. When Darren Glass first arrived on the scene, some West Coast Eagles supporters derided his ability. They thought he was a mug. That was a mistake. Clark. To his namesake, Raf Clark. Drives it around the outer side. It bounces on the wing. Coming up strongly. Rosa knocked it down. Jones getting in there was Fisher. Rosa comes again and takes it across the line.
Just a lot of floaters.
Yeah. Raf Clark
kicking and handballing and
Raf Clark
the footy.
Ruffling at his boot on the outer side there. That is a WA trait. A Carpenter generally blames his tools. Coming away is Fletcher. Kicks inside the forward 50. Knocked away by Gilbert. Ferguson in trouble. Squeezes a hand pass away. Clark again. Fiora. Wrong way Fiora. Pulls it back towards the middle. Wasn't precise. Selwood a half chance. Fletcher. Prittis. Prittis a full-blown chance. 40 metres out. Caught that.
Well, Fiora had plenty of time. He had plenty of options. Well, he didn't have a lot of options coming over the other side of the ground, but this is where the player's got to have belief and either kick down the line or hit the target, otherwise it does cost you a goal. And they mopped it up well. And Prittis on the left has stuck it in, and it's back to 6 points. It is game on. We are going to have a grand finish.
It's at 25 disposals. Prittis. Clark's had the last 5 hit-outs for the Saints. Gee, I reckon Fletcher's been important in this quarter too. Good little give to Prittis there.
He's had 14 and he was really quiet halfway through the second quarter, so he's racked them up.
Eagles continuing to come. Prittis got it from Stengline. Raf Clark had some very good moments in this match.
Good kick.
Oh. Lee Fisher should have taken it. Braun bustled out. Hayes, well done Jones. Braun, Fletcher again. Back to Rowan Jones. Back to Braun. Gets rid of Graham. Not such a good kick. Ferguson stood his ground. Well done.
We're talking about Fletcher. He's had the 9 possessions this quarter, Bruce.
He's made a difference. So Clark, well, they've got the advantage here, the Saints, but they're in strife. Well. Not sure if the players really knew what was happening. So Hansen to Wirapunda scores a level. He's kicked through.
What a great player Wirapunda is. He's been a very good player for such a long time. And the free kick was here. Well, there's no advantage there. Well, it's an interesting one, that one. But the Eagles, they were sharp. Really good pressure. Oh, they're in this now.
Scores a level, Ricky Olorenshaw.
Going back on that goal, Nick Del Santo made the mistake of taking advantage when there probably wasn't an advantage. He came straight off the ground to the bench and spoke to the coach on the phone and copped the fair spray.
Well, only one team is playing at the required tempo at the moment. It's not St Kilda. Cox over the top. Stenglein, who's been terrific, taken down. Ball up.
Well, this is where St Kilda were really good in the first half here at these stoppages. Real important clearance, this one.
Sounds like Myers. Cousins from Cox, who was so decisive on that occasion. Cousins inside the forward 50. Lynch battles. Got it on the ground. Rowan Jones, like a cork in the ocean, jumps to his feet. Cox is lurking. Oh, almost the crumb. Hansen's got it. Lacroix. Any score leads. Eagles by 6 points.
Just quality disposals. He's had the 3 touches. He's had the 2 kicks. He's kicked the 2 goals. Lacroix. Thought it was a pretty good contest there by Maguire. Cox didn't get the right bounce, but they had numbers there. They had too many numbers. It was 3 on 2. They got it there, and Lacroix finished it off. He's a sharpshooter. It's a little bit of push and shove. Nothing in it. To be very careful here. Centre clearance becomes important.
So Lacroix with 2. Saints led for 80. There's Judd. Saints led for 81 minutes. First time Eagles have been in front all night.
Well, the inside 50's become important now. The ball hasn't been down near the St Kilda forward line.
So Judd without the disposal in this quarter, but they're just winning so much of it now, the Eagles. Cousins has been important. Stenglein, Prittis and Fletcher as Prittis goes to centre half forward. And Maguire has had a tough night.
Got to slow it down now, and that's exactly what he's saying. Let's catch our breath. We've got our hands on the footy.
Gee, it's a good test for the Mocs, isn't it? Because they were so good early, the Saints. A really good test for them here. Can they come again? They're going to have to.
Well, when in doubt, go to Nick Revolt. He'll get himself into a position where he'll probably win the footy. Clearances, 10-4 in favour of West Coast in the 3rd term. Been very, very good.
Hunter's had a lot of free kicks against him tonight. Revolt's kick to Burst, to Revolt, to Burst. And then Burst gets it over centre wing. Jones got a fist on it. Milne running onto it hard. Selwood with him. Still with Milne. Now he's at 45. He is such a clever player, and he's missed everything. Well, he kicked a miraculous goal in that pocket last week. Nothing in that.
One of the big discrepancies at the moment is Blake's had the 4 touches. Cousins has had the 15. Is Blake getting tired?
Cousins coming away. Staker.
A bit of cramp in the hamstring there.
To Jones, who flirted with the idea of going.
That's a big 9 or 10 metres.
Cox, Cousins.
Yeah, Blake's starting to tire now. Cousins is becoming a real worry.
The West Coast Eagles' best players are running the Saints off their legs at the moment. This is Milne, who loses his legs. Hunter fell over. Here's Hayes. Class, 60 metres out. Terrible kick. Danawat's fall forward. Fraser gets into his move. Flicks it back. Fiora had it knocked away. Fletcher, Prittis, well worked. Waters. Rose has been good. Prittis has been everywhere. Missed the target. Montagna, look at that, the body's going willingly. Pettis butters up again. Ferguson took him down. In goes Graham. That was a throw, surely. No free kick. Lacroix slung by Ferguson. Picked up by Hayes. Lays it off the ball. Ball kicks inside the forward 50. Working in front, Kazetsky. Cleared a path for Burst. Smart hand pass to Graham. High ball. Gehrig works in front. Terrific mark. Gehrig's taken the mark in the pocket. 15 metres out. He will run around. He always does this. Jones was waiting for him. Gehrig, the short one. Ball takes the mark. Well worked by Ball. Really planning by the Eagles.
Really good play there by Brett Jones. He didn't get sucked in. He just said, all right, Fraser, you make the play.
How often do you see Fraser go when the umpire is setting the mark?
95% of the time.
Wheels off. But Jones was having none of the umpire.
I don't think Ball can get the distance from there. He'll need one of his very best. And they're right onto it too, the Eagles, Dennis.
Yeah. Well, that was terrific planning. Ready as mine. Oh, that's a terrible kick. Revolt. Close to the boundary line. Milne is arguing with the umpire. They're coming unglued at the moment, the Saints. Get on with it. Out of defence, the high ball from Fletcher.
He's a long way down, Lynch.
Lynch has got it right half back.
You're suggesting he won't take his glove off, Ox?
If he did, he'd be optimistic.
Well, he missed the target there, sting line on. So Revolt here. Was it out on the full?
No.
So just bouncing on the line. It's got to be completely over. McNamara, good tackle. Hayes has been outstanding, but he has to keep going because the midfield of West Coast has taken charge of this game.
I'll tell you one thing about McNamara. He knows where to go. As soon as he builds his body up, he's going to be a very effective player.
Thanks, Lenny.
First quarter, the Saints kick 5-5 to 1-1. In this quarter, West Coast has kicked 5-5 to 1-1. So that's been their domination. Cox, brilliant. Kazitsky to Blake.
Give him back, free kick. Let him up, let him up.
He looks like a tired man, Blake.
Had the job on Cousins, did very well early.
Well, this is his 5th touch.
So what a quarter by the Eagles. They call it the premiership quarter. They played like it, didn't they?
A lot of tired bodies.
No doubt. At 3/4 time, it's a 6-point game. This is Friday night footy.
He's done pretty well on Judd. One memorable tackle. Revolt, who started so well. Well held in the 3rd term. The Saints have to find something here. Opening bounce of the last quarter. Cox knocked it down. Kazetsky again roves his opponent's ball. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hunter worked Revolt off the line of the footy. Tackled, gave it away to Hearn. Hearn in desperate trouble. Clever 1-2 with Jones. Done it was intended on the other side. Stengline. Often forgotten. Terrific midfielder. Tough and tight. Steps Hayes. Jabs it across towards support. Hansen gets a hand pass to Fletcher. Fine 3rd turn from Chad Fletcher. Kicks inside the forward 50. Lacroix stretches. Takes the mark. Thought about going. Doesn't need to. Lynch is dropping back to the square. Jones is long. Jones can be the 3rd man up. Ops out. Not required. Lynch turns around and kicks his 4th.
Quick movement there by Lacroix. It was a good lead up the ground. But to move the footy on as quickly as what he did, that put the St Kilda defenders under enormous pressure. And when Quinton Lynch has got you there, no stopping him. No stopping him. Too strong. Just holds his ground. Would have just about gone through for a goal anyway, but great play. Good thinking by Lacroix.
Well, he had a big second half to the year in 06, and he's doing that again this year. 7 goals last week, 4 so far tonight. And suddenly they're 2 goals in front of the Eagles.
It becomes a big 20 minutes for the Saints now.
Do you reckon the Crows and the Lions, the Bombers, the Dockers, believe it or not, and also the Bulldogs are all barracking for the Eagles here tonight? Hearn out wide, because the Saints' loss is good news for those teams sitting on their shoulder. Revolt bangs it back in. Gary got a bad bounce. Selwood's done well. Milne's had a frustrating night. He had moments early, but nothing's turned to gold, and Jones runs it over. At the same time, teams like Port Adelaide and Hawthorn and the Kangaroos and Sydney and Collingwood, they want the Saints to win.
Yep. Keep it as it is. It's a very, very important couple of minutes here. Just feels as though the Saints can't get their hands on the footy.
So Jones and Clark, and now Dal Santo. They need a big final turn from number 26. Not too sure, and then goes short. Not a great kick, and Burst probably not a very good option. Pittis has been wonderful.
29 possessions now. Hearn, he's been resolute back there as well. Hunter off the ground. Graham left it behind, almost to Broad. Graham just got it away. Montagna off his step. Inside the forward 50, Revolt flung himself at the football. Del Santo to Revolt, and he's missed.
They're going to have to take their opportunities here.
Something they didn't do in the opening term. Dominated the game, couldn't translate it on the scoreboard.
Well, how often do we see it when sides don't kick enough in the first quarter, and it comes back to haunt them later on in the game?
Cousins, outstanding second half. Say that about so many of their players. Waters, Braun and Burst fell over, and Braun first to get up. Here's Judd. Ricky had an interesting stat on him at three-quarter time. So this is his first disposal in the second half. He played a cameo first half, didn't he? Did some very good things. Lacroix's got a bit better as it's gone on. Lynch has been just brilliant. So's Cox. Back to Lynch, and then decides to hook back to a hot spot where, because he's dropped him. Jones, Judd straightens up and just misses.
Well, sigh of relief there. You wouldn't see Cossie do that too often. And one bloke you wouldn't want to get his hands on the footy in that situation is Chris Judd.
Sam Fisher to bring it in.
Huddling here. The West Coast have got outriders, so they'll just wait for the players to get to them, and they'll follow them out.
The intensity of a final. Sam Fisher drives it long towards the outer side. Jones liked his game. Cousins getting better. Fletcher, Prentice. 30 possessions. He'll get a career high tonight. Across the ground, Cox. Short one, beautiful. Oh, cometh the hour, cometh the Cox.
He's as good as there is on left and right foot for a bloke over 6'7".
Well, John Worsfold needed him at quarter time. It was like Commissioner Gordon summoning Batman. He's lobbed, and hasn't he done well? Cox has been the difference between these two clubs.
I reckon there's a couple of blokes out there that play Robin to Batman, don't you? They feed off him beautifully.
Jeez, yeah, if you were a midfielder and you had him in your side, you'd be giving him massages before and after training every night.
Hansen has not kicked well, but this time he has.
We're going to find out a fair bit about St Kilda now. Exactly where they're at, how they respond. The Eagles found themselves down, and we know they're a good side. They'll always come back. Oh, this is just beautiful. Didn't try to do much, knows his limitations, put it out in front and let the player run onto it.
How many big guys can go left foot like that and do that? How many
Very
big guys
few.
can do that?
That's why he's the best in the business.
Yep.
Says a bit for Hansen's temperament, because he had a shocking night in front of goal. That was a great kick. They've kicked the last 5, West Coast. They've kicked 5-2 to 3 points since the Saints' last goal, and 7 of the 8 goals kicked after half-time have come to the Eagles. They look like winners, don't they? Burst got it from Hayes. Ball front spot, good mark. Hearn's done a great job tonight. Ball quickly on. Not a great tick. Montagna had to wait. Now he can kick a goal. He gets inside 50. This is important.
Can't afford to miss any more opportunities now. They've got to grab them. The kick of balls them. We know that he's lost a lot of power. Just didn't kick to his advantage and made Montagna kick from 45.
Oh, what a terrible kick from Hearn. Prentice spins out of trouble. Waters, Hearn, sweeping hand pass. Fletcher backs off Montagna. Montagna did well. Fletcher made a mistake. Del Santo goes short to Gearing. Terrible by the West Coast Eagles. Great pressure by the Saints.
Well, they've only got themselves to blame on this occasion. The pressure wasn't that great by St Kilda. Just poor disposal. Gee, those footies that hang in the air when you're kicking out from full back, they're so dangerous.
The escargot kick, patented by Rowan Jones. Fraser Gehrig comes in and hurts the West Coast Eagles. 10 points the difference.
Montagna, after hitting the post, went over and put a lot of pressure on Chad Fletcher. And that's what you want your team to do. If you make a mistake or you don't finish off the good work, get over there and get involved. And that's exactly what he did. We'll see it here. There he is, just guards, doesn't charge at him, waits, weighs up the situation, and a good spot up there by Del Santo.
Two second-half goals. I've got the feeling like they needed a lucky break. They got it there, the Saints, didn't they?
Well, it's going to come down to conditioning now. It's been the big worry for the Saints all year, how they finish off their matches.
Remember they had Collingwood beaten at the MCG and gave up a big last quarter lead. Cousins, big second half. Charges to centre half forward. Ferguson, paid.
Geez, they're almost making a meal of those easy marks, though.
Poor kick. Kaczynski under the pump. Del Santo lifting again in this last quarter. He had a quiet third term. Starting to get a bit of it. Oh, wonderful play, though, by Waters. Del Santo needs to make up for it. And then Burse and Judd and a ball up. Here's a horrible stat if you're a Saints fan. In the 53 wins they've won at Telstra Dome, they've only come from behind once at three-quarter time. And that was 5 years ago against Carlton.
Well, records are there to be broken.
So the challenge is there.
Kaczynski goes to ground under a Rosa tackle.
Just watching Nick Del Santo there, he was calling to Nick Riewoldt, come at me, give me something. I just don't want to kick it up. I reckon he should just kick it up. Oh. He's good enough one-on-one. Just get it up to him.
Unbelievable. Why wouldn't you? There's Braun. And there was no urgency about Del Santo, as was the case about 5 minutes ago at left half forward. Etihad on crutches. Not a good sight. Little camera shy. Cox knocks it down. Cousins, who's been very good, was ushered out of that one. Braun put the head down, goes after it. And the West Coast Eagles have certainly got the energy and the appetite. John Worsfold has won 4 out of 7 against St Kilda since taking over in 2002. And that's a remarkable record by one of the powerhouses of the competition. Cox is getting the free.
Now it's coming to Montagna.
Is it? Oh, well, Cox is confused, and he confused me.
Riewoldt leads early.
Well, all ruckmen think they get the free kick in the ruck contest. No one knows whose frees they ever are.
How did the little bloke get it?
Oh, no. Bit of fatigue starting to set in now. He's worked pretty hard, Montagna.
So frustrating for Riewoldt. Hunter enjoying the second half more than he enjoyed the first, I reckon, don't you?
Yeah, they haven't got it to him often enough. He hasn't got to enough contests in the second half.
Kicked 3 first half goals, was the outstanding player on the field. Fisher just got rid of Hansen. Well done, Cousins, but he couldn't quite keep it in. They haven't got... I mean, Fisher's had the big job, I know. We know Hudson, and that's meant that he hasn't been able to give him that loosey rebound that he's been so good all year at.
Well, we haven't had enough out of Graham. Not enough opportunities for Graham to get that run going too off half back.
Cox and Cousins.
Oh, very, very important decision there.
So Cousins forced to play on now. Now we're up on the front spot. Lee Fisher and then Clark and now Rowan Jones hooking back and missing everything. And that's not his forte, is it? He's kicking for goal. But he did get a third quarter goal that was pretty vital at the time, and he's run hard throughout. Del Santo gets it in short.
Just not enough movement by the St Kilda players here.
Del Santo pulls the kick slightly. Maguire marks just inside the boundary line. Saints trail by 10.
Now he should just go straight down the line, one-on-one, kick it a long way.
Clark has got it. just shy of the wing. Brad Clark again hugs the boundary line. Montagna cuts back now towards the middle. Will kick inside the forward 50. Kazitsky will fly.
Wow.
The big bodies were there in number.
He can do this, Kazitsky, can't he? Throw himself at it. Almost a free kick to him as well. Just a strong grab. There's a lot of players not looking at the football there.
Cox, Kazitsky, Revolt, Blake.
Cousins.
Normally, well, I was picking the big fellas. Normally things that big cover the carburetor. Here's Kazitsky, 40 metres out. He's kicked the goal.
You were going for the big fellas. He was going for the big names.
Ah, yes.
Cousins.
52 out of 53. Is that right, Bruce?
Yep, they've only come from behind once in the 53 wins against Carlton in 2002.
Well, I don't think they know that stat because they're right back in this now. Seaby coming in to the ruck. Now, this is a real important part of the match. Cox is off the ground. The crowd's lifting. The Saints know they win tonight. They're in finals.
He can be freakish at times, can't he, Kazitsky? And that was one of them.
Big Stewie Lowe.
Yep.
He's taken probably 1,000 of those grabs with those big bucket hands of his.
What a player.
Geez, they wouldn't mind him out there this evening. Right beside Rui.
He'd be handy. Well, the stakes is just so high here. We're talking double chances, home finals, making the finals. Cousins, gee, what a second half. Kick to Hansen, Fisher, important ball. They're all important now, the one-on-ones. Hansen back to Lee, Fisher, put Sam under the puck. Hayes, arched his back. Fiora, back to Del Santo. It's okay, to Fisher. They did well, St Kilda.
Worked it
really well.
Gee, hasn't the crowd gone up a notch?
38,000 sounds like 50, doesn't it? Sounds like a full house. Revolt, little touch. Didn't really help in the end. Stingline got it from Jones. Hunter sweeps it to Rowan Jones, to Hunter, to Rosa. He can stretch it here, Rosa. Well, what was he going? To Hansen. Fisher back.
He had to go to Lacroix, then he was free over the top, didn't put his eyes up.
So Maguire, whose field kicking's been brilliant, and have a look at that. A 60-metre pass to Montagna. Smothered over Plunda. Back to Montagna. Back to Blake.
Blake centres this one. Del Santo needs to run at them. Del Santo decides to square it. This man can run.
He's away now.
Gilbert inside the centre square, sets it up. No, Gehrig, no chance at that ball initially. Glass had the speed, got there first, spills wide of the pack. Blake gives it away to Milne, spots Blake running to space. In fact, it's Fiora who's got it. Fiora about 35 metres out, sharp angle. And they worked a little 1-2 very well.
Well, we've got some very... Sam Fisher couldn't blow out a candle at the moment. Hands on hips. Moose Maguire. Oh, Hansen. They are very, very tired young men out there.
And this angle opens up beautifully for the left footer. This for the lead, provided it's straight. Well, in a way it was straight, but straight through for a behind.
He's had an almost night, Fiora, hasn't he? Bad mistake in the third quarter when he turned it over. He's had some good moments.
Yep.
1 goal, 2.
Got the wall set up here, the Saints. Need to be patient here, the Eagles.
Hunter to Jones.
He's going to have to go down the line.
And he does. Hansen the target. Fisher worked hard. Hansen, Prittis. There's an open space in front of him. Rowan Jones. Gee.
Could be 50, and it is.
She's been good, Rowan Jones.
Took him to the ground.
He was in the contest.
Took him to the ground.
But he wasn't in the contest.
Brett, he's taking the mark and you've taken him to the ground.
Is he in the contest or not?
He's taking him to the ground.
Is he in the contest?
Not
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No. There is here. Brett.
Rowan Jones with a goal in the third quarter. He was the late inclusion for Mitch Morton. He has had a good night. And that's a telling goal. The unlikely hero, Rowan Jones.
Becomes a very costly miss now of Aaron Fiora's. Brett Voss should know better than that. When a player takes a mark, you do not bring the player to ground.
No.
He's too experienced. He's been playing too long to do that. Don't agree, Dan?
He was guarding against the hand pass to Wirral, wasn't he? That's what he was worried about. Another man with his detractors amongst the West Coast Eagles supporters, but geez, played a game tonight. Just runs and runs in that forward half. 9 points the difference. Can the Eagles get the next goal and maybe put down the resistance? Kozeski won it to Hayes. Fiora. Now Montagna slips through, kicks to half forward. Revolt really sighted in the second half. And Hunter stands tall to claim the mark. Goes out very wide. Stenglein has to wait. Leads back in the race. Will it sit for him? Stenglein. Well done. Slick. Jones running out of space. Interesting. Well, a throw in on the outer side. That gentleman in the front row's got a point. Cousins is coming off the ground. What a second half. 22 possessions. I think he had 4 at half time. Seaby pushed in the back. He's going to get the free. Crowd won't like it.
Give it now. Give it now.
Got to stay disciplined here.
Seaby. Sure. The Eagles have found themselves in this situation many times before. Waters, Selwood. Think back to the last 2 grand finals. Off the ball, though. It's against Selwood, and the free kick is going to ball.
1 second longer, you were gone. Be very careful.
And the umpire told Brett Jones 1 more second and you were 50 metres gone. G. Gilbert made a great contest. Blake taken down by Wirrapunda to Milne. Clever kick, brilliant. Well, for the second time in about 3 minutes, Stevie Milne has improvised and given a teammate a chance.
Well, this is where it's big. Luke Ball just going towards a player, and against Selwood for one over the shoulder. And all of a sudden, you lose momentum, and the Saints have got a shot on goal.
Only big if he kicks it, though, Ox.
He'll kick it. Good players kick goals in this situation.
3 goals in the first half. Best man on the ground at half-time. Can the captain keep them alive? He does. He's the champ.
I wasn't 100% confident, Bruce.
Tua Milne's had an ordinary night, but his 2 little kicks in the last quarter have been terrific.
He also hit a couple in the third term as well. Gee, the rotations are happening. Cox back onto the ground. Very important, and he'll just make it in time.
You said that good players kick these goals. You didn't give yourself much room to maneuver.
No, I didn't.
Margin is 3 points. 7:07 remaining in the contest. Some anxious faces around this ground. Everybody
Cousins
in their
and
own
Judd.
way riding it out.
Cousins and Judd both on the bench.
Cox with the run, opts out of the contest, finishes up with a football, feeds it forward. Well done, Montagna, threw it on the boot. Prittis goes after it. Great evasion, got out of the pack, stifled off his boot. Over the football is Hayes, stumbles forward, lost it. Rosa heard the voice, goes to Braun, 55 metres out, hooks it down towards full forward. Blake tried to punch, Lynch lines up his fifth, and he snuffed it. Time to think, not always ideal for Quinton Lynch.
I think he's better on the ground than he is in the air.
That's when he needs to get rid of the glove. That's going to happen
Every
next year.
time the ball hits the ground, he's like a shark. He reads it as well as anybody. He's been outstanding. And he's let up, and yeah, that's all good, but it's when the ball hits the ground, he's so big. That's a very good footballer.
Juddy just went over the top for Juddy.
Be calm.
So 5 for Lynch. It's the 4th time this year he's kicked at least 5 in a match. He got 7 last week. Saints are asked to come again, aren't they?
Geez, Cox played a big role in that last centre bounce.
Clark got his hands on it. Hayes, Fiora, carried it well. Does the kick find Revolt? It does.
Ben, What are we going to say here?
Carey would have kicked this.
Great players generally kick these.
Well, Lynch has got 5 at one end. Can Revolt get a 5th here?
Well,
Huge first half, Ox. Not much in the second, but suddenly ignited.
still had 4. Said, what's he had? 17 touches and 10 marks.
He's just fancy a kicker, don't you? It's a long way out. He's tired. He'll kick from outside the 50. But he's not quite going to get there. Remember that Revolt kick against the Western Bulldogs in the last moment? So, still on 4 goals, an 8-point game. So much hanging on the result, not just for these two teams either, but for the whole competition tonight.
Even pillars of society know what's Australian for oops.
They can't afford to try and run down the clock here. There's too much time left.
Cox to Hearn, close to the boundary line, taken across by Rosa.
Cousins on, the young fella. Jamie McNamara off. It's not a bad substitute.
You can't emphasise enough, and the Eagles stand testimony to this tonight. They got off to a bad start. You just play every contest, every next score. That's all you can do. Pritis to Fletcher, down towards left half forward. The Saints. Who's that? Hansen?
Hansen looks like he's in serious trouble.
Sam Fisher, meantime, has found Graham. And the Saints now looking in that same locker as the West Coast Eagles.
Hanson's
giving it
off.
to every contest. Here's Revolt again. He's on the wing.
They've got one plan at the moment, Ox. The Saints go to Revolt, haven't they? It's their one big chance, you would think, when they go forward. But he's on the centre wing, so Raf Clark doesn't have him to go to.
Well, they've got all their numbers back here now. They've got to be smart. Oh.
And they just kicked it up in the air, very high, and Waters marked, so that's a terrible kick. Did he just have run out of ideas, or did he just execute poorly?
Well, they're either going to get the ball to Maguire or to Graham to kick over the wall. They're the two players with penetrating kicks. They can just play around with it here, though, the West Coast Eagles.
Bo Waters. Here's Graham. Got rid of Jones. They both had big parts to play tonight. Graham did very well to Fisher, to Del Santo. Revolt again. They're always going to go that way, aren't they?
But why only in desperation?
80 metres out Revolt. High ball to full forward. Kaczynski behind. Blake looking for Gehrig. Glass, brilliant. What a game. To Cousins. The 2 9s. Cousins and Gehrig.
Towards the outer side, and Hearn stood up in the tackle, gave it to Braun, goes over the top. The West Coast Eagles can finish off the resistance if they can goal here. Around the outer side, Lynch, deep into a tackle. Crowder is coming. Oh, wonderful effort. Going backwards, Raf Clark, spilled out of his fingertips and across the line.
Last roll of the dice here.
That's bad news. Steve Woodhouse down to have a word. The football manager.
Hamstring.
Oh.
Right hamstring.
Bad time of the year for that. He's so important to them. Thrown in, hooked down by Matty Clark. Coming away is Graham. No real pressure on him. Draws a man into the path of Lee Fisher. Lee Fisher tracks it out towards the wing. Demands something of his teammate Ball. Well, Ball wanted to come back. Should have kept surging. Kicks it high down towards full forward. Terrific effort, Glass. Ricochets across here to Cousins. Cousins feeds it off. Waters back to Cousins. Look at him go. He was vomiting in the first half. A little skitter down towards Jones. Rowan Jones went to ground. Wrestled down. That's a good result for the West Coast Eagles. Locked in between Raf Clark and Rowan Jones. Margin is 8 points. Under 3 minutes to go. And Glass simply has known no fear tonight.
Brilliant, isn't he? Clark smothered by Pritis.
Gee, Pritis has been good too.
Jones held up. Braun held up. Del Santo smothered by Stenglein. Clark picked off by Cox. Blake ridden into the ground by Wirapunda. Hearn back turn to Rosa, to Cousins. Clever little kick. Well, there's no substitute for Class, is there?
No, not at all. It was Clark's handball. They were away. just didn't have the power, couldn't find the middle of the footy, and the Eagles get it and take it away.
And Cox started it by reading the Clark handball.
Yep. Gee, good smother there by Pritis.
20 seconds, Mark.
And Cousins' gut-running performance in the second half has been outstanding.
He's a beautiful kick, Clark. He's kicked 2 goals so far tonight. That not so good. He leant back. It won't be a score. And a boundary throw in.
Well, not a bad result.
No, they need to clear it here, the Saints, if they're any chance.
Port Adelaide were in the same position, weren't they, a week ago down in Tassie?
Watch the back of the pack. Cox will try and go there, and he does. Hooks it down behind. Hearn couldn't create space. Bursts. And Fletcher will hold it up. I think they're home, the West Coast Eagles. Fletcher spots a man in the pocket and goes to Lynch. Now, he's got a dilemma. Will he go back and shoot a goal? Will he pass it back outside the 50? We're down to 124. He's got 5. They lead by 8. It's all about the numbers now. For win number 14.
He's been very, very good tonight.
One of their best wins of the season. Provided he shoots straight here. Across the face. Next best thing is out of bounds. It'll be a throw in 59 seconds. Well, if you're going to miss wide and miss in.
I didn't realise how good Lynch was at ground level. He's really worked at it, but that's just an extra string to his bow.
Kazitsky, third man up, just at the wrong end for the Saints.
You've got to be smarter than that, though, don't you? You just have to find somebody.
It's like they're in quicksand right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go for them. And gee, this gives those teams below them a massive result tonight, because the winner of Brisbane and Adelaide will go above them at the end of this round. Where Punda gets it, Hayes gets him. Well, who knows? 50 metres. Hayes gets the footy.
It was silly then by Pritis. There was only one decision that could have been given.
Well, they've got one last chance here. Revolt got it. Dal Santo, left footer, 70 metres out. Long kick, Kazitsky, yes! And he kicks the goal.
Well, surely not Bruce.
Port Adelaide.
Well,
Why not?
what a game of football.
Gee, 150-metre penalty. Ox, 150-metre penalty makes a world of difference.
Now the Eagles have got to be smart here. They just push all their numbers back.
21 seconds to go.
No free kick.
Still all about the numbers. 21 seconds, 2 points the difference. Another thriller on Friday Night Football. Back in the middle.
Smart thinking. Sorry, Dennis. Smart thinking then by Kazitsky as well.
One clean possession. A mark here will win it for the Eagles. Knocked down by Cox. Charging in Fiora. Down goes Pritis to Cousins. Lacroix. Clock is down at 12. Lacroix gets through on the 50. Long kick. Bacon square. It's over.
Well, it was possible. 20 seconds, it was possible.
Just the wrong end of your Saints fan.
Went to the Eagles' end, and what a wonderful finish. Really well done here by the Eagles. They were just too desperate to get the ball, the Saints, and they collided with each other, and it was Pritis again who was in and under. And this young man hasn't had much of it this evening, but he's kicked the 3 goals.
So champs everywhere tonight. Gee, Lacroix, what an emerging talent. 20 years of age. Cousins 20 disposals after half-time. What an engine he has. Just knew it was going to mean so much tonight, this match. So let's go down to Rick Renshaw with one of the stars of the match, Matty Priddis.
He was a star in the midfield, Matty Priddis. Great, cracking game, wasn't it, tonight?
It was a fantastic effort. Took 4 quarters to break them. They're a fantastic side, and we knew we had to work right to the last minute, so it's fantastic work by the boys.
That centre bounce clearance at the end was so important. You probably didn't know how long it was. Actually 21 seconds left. It was a very important clearance.
It was that tight the whole game. We gave away that 50, and that really could have cost us. So we just tried to lock it in, but we were lucky to get a break, and it was good.
It's such an important win for you guys. You're in the hunt for that second spot.
Yeah, it's such a close competition this year, and we're really enjoying the challenge. We've got one more game against the Bombers, and hopefully we can get that second spot.
With the big one next week, isn't it? It could be the last time we see Herd and Sheets.
Yeah, it's a massive game, and I just can't wait to get out there.
Good on you, mate. Well played tonight. Cheers.
Good on you, Rick. I think he might be leadership material, Matt Priddis. Smart on his feet. He said, we gave away the 50. Actually, it was him.
Yeah. Well, Revolt had a huge night, didn't he? You can tell he's just cutting inside, isn't he?
Makes it hard for them now, doesn't it, the Saints?
They've got to rely on results, because if either Adelaide or Brisbane win both their next 2 matches, the Saints can't get above them. Back to Ricky.
And with one of their young champs, Adam Selwood, what a great game, mate. He's a very slow start, we were able to peg him back.
Yeah, I know, we got off to a slow start. It was disappointing, but the boys' credit, they fought hard, and we ran hard in the second half and got over the line.
They seem to match your hardness, particularly early on.
Yeah, we always knew they were going to come out and play hard. I mean, their season was on the line, and we really wanted that top 2 spot, and now we've got to take it in the next week as well.
It's really important you blokes start to stand up, because you've got some key players out. So Ashley Hansen go off with a hamstring injury late as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but it gives opportunities to other people, and we're coming into finals. We've got great players in the waffle, that are playing good footy, so whoever's out, we've got people that are coming in.
Well, good luck next week against the Bombers.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Ricky. Hansen's hamstring, and Judd obviously still restricted. 2 of the big talking points that will come out of tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. I was thinking the same thing exactly. I mean, he was very good. Young McNamara, Jamie McNamara from East Fremantle, number 45. I remember the last number 45 of consequence of this club would have been another East Fremantle player, Andrew Lockyer. But the West Coast Eagles take problems out of this game, but they take 4 points as well. Terrific on Friday Night Football, 16-10 to 14-14.